Hey everybody, welcome back to Angry Badger Minis after what, 5 months? So apologies, things are what they are, but we have not actually stopped too much on working on things. We're still working on the Krieg army, and I've had to jostle some things around. I'm actually in the process of putting together 6 chimeras for that, for the Krieg army, and what we've got left is we've got 6 chimeras, Warhound Titan, Baneblade. We're in the process of putting together these Forge World Vanquisher tanks that I guess they don't make anymore or something. I don't know. I read something. I didn't actually look, but maybe they make them differently or something like that. So we've got these 3, then we've got 3 more Lehman Russ tanks. We've got 3 more Devil Dogs, or Devil Dog Hellhounds. And because of these, actually, this is really what I want to talk about. Because of the chassis here for these Vanquishers, okay? This is what it came with, but it also came with, excuse me, the regular top piece of, you know, the Lehman Russ, and it also came with other turrets, you know, and all the barrels and everything else. Well, I thought to myself, what is the possibility of me, the only pieces that I'm missing are the lower chassis, okay, or lower, you know, platform, if you will, or lower body, and tracks, okay? What could I do to take those pieces and have them not wasted? And what did I do? We cast 3 sets of tracks. Now they're not perfect, but they're damn close, especially on the outside. Okay, let's see if we get that going there. Okay, now there's nothing on the inside. They were just a flat cast, unlike the Krieg, which, by the way, we did finish putting together and priming all 40 casted or cast Krieg Deathriders, in addition to the 10 Forge World ones that I had actually bought. So we have a total of 50 Deathriders. But anyway, we did this, and then what I also did was I used plastic card on the bottom to seal the hole in, and I have extra pieces. They're not like they're similar to this piece right here that comes with the Chimera. I have a bunch of older plates like this, and I believe it's supposed to be like extra armor or something. I'm not exactly sure, can't remember. And I'm gonna put those on these 3. I have plenty, believe me. I'm gonna put those here, so that'll marry that up. And then once, you know, I'm putting track guards on everything, and what you call it, you know, there's gonna be, you know, eventually cami netting and tarps and things like that. And I'm not gonna say you wouldn't notice, but you'd be hard pressed to notice unless you're really looking for it by the time I'm done, I hope. Either way, it's 3 more tanks that I didn't have, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm not using them in a tournament setting or anything like that. I would never do that, because I mean, it's obviously, you know, not cool, and I'm obviously not reproducing these for sale or anything. But I mean, just think about how many extra pieces, you know, you have laying around that, you know, I mean, this is it right here. This top portion right here, and this turret sitting around doing nothing. Now, I did have the general idea that maybe I could, plus all the weapons that go with it, you know what I mean, hole mounted weapons and everything, because these guys, you know, the Vanquishers have their own hole mounted weapons. And I apologize, my eyes are going all over the place. I'm not crazy. I've got a brand new setup. I mean, the camera is literally above me, the arm and everything. Mike's over here. I built myself a desk. My wife and I built myself a desk. It's basically 82 inches by 60 inches, L-shaped, with a 53-inch hutch, if that tells you anything. And we've really opened up, I mean, you know, my office space and things like that. So you know, we're doing a lot around the house, moving furniture, getting things squared away. We've lived here almost 5 years in between the two businesses, and now the little ones and stuff like that. Just never had really time to unpack or do anything. And so I'm super excited. And I started today college full time. Right now I'm enrolled for business management, but I have a feeling that my major is gonna change real fast here to computer sciences. We'll see. But so a lot of stuff going on, and you know, for those of you that are still subscribed to the channel, you're probably gonna see this, you know, pop up in your feed and be like, "What? This dude's still alive?" Yes, I'm still alive. It's just a lot going on in life, you know, and as we all know, you know, you have to prioritize what's more important. And unfortunately, as much as I love this hobby, you know, work as well as my family, you know, they have to come first. And I know you guys understand that because some of you guys have already told me that. But anyway, yeah, so these, I'm thoroughly impressed with how this turned out. Now, I will tell you that each one of these track pieces is considerably heavier than your GW one. I mean, probably another 50% heavier, to be honest with you, but worth it in the end. We're also working on, just because you guys know how much I love the Krieg, and I have to wait for stuff to come in. Oh no! Just sprues everywhere. I'm working. Hold on a second. We're working on another cast. I lost a Lego somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's right there. Sorry, I hit the camera there. Anyway, we're working on another cast, but I ran out of this type of smooth on mold silicone rubber, which is, and I learned this lesson the hard way. So, I forget exactly where I put it, it's not important. But anyway, the molds that I did for the tanks, okay, was where I ran out, while this one and that one were curing. And I never noticed that on the smooth on bottle, here we go, I never noticed that it doesn't say it on the box here. Okay, so something you'll need that I can see anyway. I don't, unless, oh, there it is, it's covered up. I'm sorry, can't really see because this stupid thing right here. I don't think I can get it off without tearing the box. But anyway, I thought it was just what it was, and when I ordered it off of Amazon, I didn't know there were different numbers. I mean, when I'm looking at the same box, like this purple stuff, the same box is the one I use for everything else, you know, I just went ahead and bought it. Well, come to find out, this is very, very soft silicone rubber. I'm not saying it's useless, but I was very unhappy when I opened up the bottles. There was already curing on each bottle and around the lips, and they had never been opened, and that's after you pulled the seal off. So I'm like, what the heck? Why is this clear? Why is it not, you know, whatever? And then I look in the trash, and there it is. The bottles that I used, or the stuff that I used, had 00-15 on it, not 00-20. So that was my whole problem. Well, we're also not quite out of the woods yet, because I have to, I mean, it should be here soon, I hope, but I saw a review that really got me worried about who I was buying it from, and there was no one else I could get it from other than straight up going to Smooth On, which I know last time took forever to even get the stuff, and that they, even though the picture said and the description said 15 on it, they didn't even get even like the 20 or anything. It was something completely different, dragon skin or something like that, I think is what they said. So anyway, hopefully, you know, fingers crossed here, we're gonna get the right stuff. That being said, taking a look at this mold, we have the tank commander, Krieg tank commander, that I want to put in all of my tanks. I just don't want to have all the hatches just shut and things like that. I also posted some things on my Instagram, and I guess next time I do this, and I will apologize. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this every night or every day because, you know, do have school and stuff. But I do plan on getting back to this, you know, even if it's just for an hour or something like that. But regardless, or getting back to this, the trench. Why am I at a loss for words here? Trench rails. These trench rails right here, you know, they came with the Vanquisher tanks. And for those of you that don't know what these are, essentially they mount back here on the rear, and they're so that if a tank was going across a trench, it keeps them from falling in the trench like this. You know what I mean? They just, it catches them, and then they're able to get their traction and keep going. Of course, anything that I've ever researched from World War I and things like that, much to the destruction of the trench itself, if that were to happen. But it could be, you know, the tank commander's not trying to necessarily always, or won't always have the opportunity to just pick the narrowest trench. He may be going over something, you know, wider, or something that's been blown out, or what have you. So anyway, I had 6 of these, and then, you know, 3 commanders, and I'm like, well, these are awesome. They're exactly what I want. I mean, if it doesn't pan out, it's not a big loss. I still have, you know, the mold from the rider, and I've already done this where I had a spare rider sitting around like this, and I just cut him off at the waist, and then I put him in my Manticore Deathstrike model, which that's what I was going to say. I'll bring it up next time, I hope, if I can remember. I bought an actual Deathstrike model, the Manticore Deathstrike, and then just with, I mean, it was like, I'm trying to think here, maybe 2 or 3 spare parts that I had, that I was able to do it in such a way that I have the 4 Manticore missiles on there, and I have the Deathstrike kind of sitting in a, you know, a V, if you will, like this, you know, and if you can imagine this, something like that. And I mean, I'm sure there's something else I can do to it later, you know, once I get around to things or whatever, because right now you've got the open holes. For those of you that own that model or have put one together, you have the open holes where the little missiles, you wouldn't put them together, but you would take the halves and put it around. And I just didn't want that. I wanted the option. It's lightly glued in there, because I'm also looking at the option of later on possibly just putting a magnet in there and magnetizing that missile. So that way, if I'm playing whatever, and, you know, I can just remove the missile or put it on, you know, whatever, you know, not to not confuse my opponent, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna be, I mean, when's the next, you know, who knows when's the next time I'm gonna get to play a game. But yeah, pretty much all of this stuff, the Vanquisher cannons, all of it, typical Forge World, it all had to be washed, it all had to be heated up and straightened out. All of these were bent. I mean, they were like super bent, and but it's a very, you know, it's a very thin piece, and but, you know, I'm pretty sure that the way that I've done this, where I use some extra, you know, Forge World sprue here to make a big funnel, if you will, and then I'll, you know, once the whole thing's done, you know, we'll go back in here and clean it up to make sure we've got enough, you know, channels here where the plastic can get in there and do its job, and we'll see how it works. And if it works out great, specifically, I own, you know, these right here. I mean, worst case is these don't work, you know, and I know I've got the other ones that will. It's just that the Krieg tank commanders have a little thing on the side of their head that makes them look more tank commanderish. Hell, I may even rip out the guy that I put in that Manticore, but I'd like to have one in every Chimera. You know, but these tank rails, they're gonna go on every tank the Krieg have, and I'm gonna put them on all the Steel Legions tanks too. So there's that. But yeah, I've got to wait for the stuff to get in so we can finish this one up. So, but anyway, we're definitely moving on. Got it's gonna be a while. I got some other parts coming in as well for my Warhound Titan. I mean, to put him together, like assembly things I need, like brass rod and things like that, because I really don't want to mess around with this. But you know, here's the I have the Lucius pattern Warhound, and I mean, it's obviously not put together, but it is all washed and cleaned. Oops, these guys fell apart. And I'm looking forward to painting them, and I'm also looking forward to trying to I don't know if you can even magnetize this, but if I can, yeah, probably right here and here, lightly magnetize, you know, some of this stuff so you can still remove it. I was surprised when I got this model that, and I don't know why I thought maybe, I don't know, I've looked around at other people's paint jobs and things like that, and no one has it. So I mean, and again, I bought all this stuff so long ago, but there are no windows, you know, like actual, you know, windows here to do anything with. Now I could make something, and I've thought about that, because I thought about doing that and then like running an LED light in there. I thought would be kind of cool. When I'll get around to that, who knows, but that's obviously something that's going to happen during the build, and you know, it's going to take some thought about the decision making process, because one thing that I know when it comes to dealing with these models, and I will say this, I've done 0 interiors when it comes to, you know, vehicles or anything like that, except for the Space Marine Salamander Army that I gave my wife. The Land Raider, all that stuff, you know, and that was the time that I learned my lesson that it's a hard sell for us. It's a hard sell to even do it, because how often are you really going to look in there? You know, do you want to keep taking the top of the Land Raider off, and the top or the doors of the Rhinos or the Razorbacks off and things like that? You know, do you want to do these things? And you know, who knows? I mean, I'm thinking no. But you've got this piece, you've got the upper, you know, carapace part of the Titan, and you know, it's just, I don't know, we'll have to see, you know, if the juice is worth the squeeze on that. But I've been keeping the head of this Titan sitting up on this thing, just so I can remind myself, hey, look, man, you know, you need to get a move on. You got this stuff going. Oh, I guess I didn't trim that off. Might as well. I was wondering why that was kind of in there crooked. Let's see. This should be better. Yep, so it fits right in there now. Put this dude in there. And you know, I have a Titan Manufacturum Warlord, if you guys remember those. I actually have 2 of them, and I guess they don't make them anymore. They're 24 inches tall, made out of mostly foam and wooden dowels, and then 3D printed, old 3D printed, and I think it's FDM, but I'm not sure. I mean, I got these things back in 2014, so 24 inches tall by, I think, 17 inches wide at their widest. Lucius pattern Warlord, you know, similar to the, you know, what you see in the Titan novels. Which now, I mean, you guys can't see it right now, and maybe I'll do a thing later on. But I've got like almost, yeah, I think I've got almost every one of my books, novels, codexes, you name it, all over here upstairs now. So if I need to get to something, and I've got a nice cleaner workspace, got myself a newer, you know, pad here that I plan on trying to keep relatively clean. Yeah, we're gonna do what we can as far as, you know, continuing the stream, continuing the channel. Not a lot going on here. I just wanted to put some of this stuff together tonight for these chimeras. I've already done tracks or whatever. Didn't want to wait on that, and just was looking forward to getting back into this and, you know, getting back to the channel. I did miss it for sure. Definitely missed it. But it's yeah, we got, like I said, we got 6 chimeras here that need to be put together. And I, you know, you guys have seen me do this before. I assembly line, all of this stuff. But while I'm doing this, let's talk about some of the other stuff that's going on in the hobby. We've got, what the heck is this thing called? They want to do some kind of Warhammer Seasons. Alright, yeah, I'm super not happy about that at all. I will not be participating, I can tell you that. I just won't. It's a money grab. I'm sure most of you guys know it's a money grab, and it's just not worth it. It's just, I mean, I get it. They're copying, you know, like some guys have said, they're copying the video game model, I guess, and I don't even like it, you know, in that regard. But it's what it is, and you know, I've got so many books here. Literally, this shelf over here is bowing. Like, I mean, it's literally bowing from the weight of all of these codexes and stuff like that. And I've got every edition from Rogue Trader all the way up. It's I mean, I realize they're a company and they gotta make money and blah 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 blah. But as the saying goes, you know, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Well, I won't. It's that simple. What I am enjoying is how good my my cases are looking with all of these assembled models. I definitely underestimated how much space 50 Krieg riders were going to take. Yeah, that kind of changed what I had allocated in my IKEA Detolf glass cases. What am I trying to say here? What I had allocated as budget, you know, space budget or budget space or whatever. I guess we're gonna have to be a little more patient. I definitely underestimated it, and they take up an entire shelf all on their own. And for those of you that aren't aware, I buy acrylic from like my local hardware store, which for me is Lowe's, and I have them cut it, you know, in the size of the actual glass shelves. And what did I do here? Okay, wrong side. And then I have these little connectors or whatever, or clamps that I put on the actual, you know, shelf stanchions, and that helps me you know, put more shelves in. So something does not seem right here. I know I'm right, but it just doesn't feel right. I'm not sure why. I don't know if I'm just so excited about being back on the channel or what the heck's going on, but something seems off. Oh, it's because these should be over there. That's why. Oh well. Oops. I mean to go all the way up that side there. But for those of you that are subscribers, when you see this, again, I want to say thank you for sticking around. And like I said, I know it's been forever. It's just, you know, like I said, priorities, man. And I know you guys will understand that. But I definitely am glad that I'm back, you know, in the capacity that I can be. Let's see, what else was out there? We've got Space Marine 2. I'm sure most of you guys have seen the trailer by now. You've probably seen people, you know, their talk-throughs or whatever, reaction videos to it. I will tell you this, I'm super excited. Only because it's Tyranids. No, I enjoy Space Marine, or you know, the first one, and I'm looking forward to this one. Although I will have to say that I will probably have to get a new console. By the time it comes out, I can do that, or I should be able to do that, no problem. Where I'm not, you know, taken away from things that, you know, require other, you know, more priority. But I mean, I think it's going to be an outstanding looking game. I just hope that I'm not really into the multiplayer stuff. For me, I'm into the, you know, the campaign, you know, and I wish that there was some kind of, you know, player versus environment to it. And maybe I'll do a reaction video on it myself, because I mean, I thought about doing it when I saw it. You know, we'll see. But again, I'm just happy to be on again. We got some new Warhammer games coming out. Chaos Gate, and I think it's either this year late, or I don't remember exactly when. I'm just hoping that, and I don't know how many of you have played the original. I had it for a long time, and then I don't know what happened to it. I mean, I still actually have the box for the old Epic Armageddon, I think it's computer game, and I only got to play it one time. But to be honest with you, my gosh, man, those cinematics are horrible. But yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff coming out. I just hope that they do it justice. Seems like some of these guys are taking it real serious, and that's good. Who knows? You know, who knows where it's going to lead us? Oh crap! I knew I forgot something. I was supposed to put these on. That's alright. I can still put them on. I gotta put these on. Then it's been a while since I've done a Chimera, and I normally try to do them flat on the table. But we'll get it if I can keep my fingers from sticking to me. Actually, I'm saying that I normally do it flat. It might actually work out better this way. Looks pretty solid there. Just put a little bit of glue there. A little bit of glue there. Slide that in. Yeah. I'm also going to try to do something, I think, with these where I'm not sure how, but I would like to make the hatch on the back where it can open. And I have somebody making me, I know it's going to take a while, but they're going to be making me a couple of 3D printed Gorgons for my Krieg army. What's going on here? A couple of Gorgons, transport vehicles. What else were they making me? Like trays, if you will, for. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, it was a shadow. I was like, what the heck? Why didn't that work? Anyway, trays that would fit down inside with, you know, Krieg looking Death Corps guys in there, and then also make me some hatches that would go on top of the whole thing, just in case, you know, like dust, things like that, or didn't want to, I don't know, haven't gotten around to painting them or something like that. You don't want to see them. And then the dirigible that's out there. I guess I don't know if it's really made anymore, but I know there was an official model. He showed it to me. I was unaware of it, or I think I did see it a long time ago. Anyway, not important. I know what he told me is that it's roughly 24 inches in length as a transport or whatever, and I'm thinking if I can get him to make me something like that, and he showed me a 3D STL on it. If he can make me something like that, then maybe I can proxy it as something else, just for just fun game stuff. It's I'm not into the the whole tournament scene, and I thought I was going to get into it. Again, I'm getting even less motivated about it all. And for those of you that are tournament players, I am not looking down on you. That's your game. It's what you want to do. It's just I do not have any more, especially considering all that I own. I mean, you guys, thousands of models and stuff. I do not have, nor do I want to spend that type of income to have to try to meet the meta just to be competitive. If that's the way the competitive scene is, hey man, I mean, that's what it is. I want to be able to sit down with a game, with somebody, if I'm lucky enough to find somebody to play with, or do, whatever, and just, one of the things I loved about 9th edition, and I've, barely even know how to play the game, to be honest with you. I mean, I remember 3rd edition like the back of my hand. That's the one I put most of my effort in. It was the one I came in on, the one I ran a gaming club on, but regardless, was Unbound Armies. But then I recently, and I'm not happy about this at all, I recently watched a video, and I'm trying to think who it was that was talking about it. I'm not sure. Oh, Northern Exile. That's who it was. I was listening to one of his, and if you guys don't know who that is, he's an English guy that has, I guess, many times worked for Games Workshop. Pretty, I guess, for the most part, at least, where he had his own store. I forget how high he actually went in Games Workshop, but been playing forever, and great things that he talks about when he was managing a store and people he worked with, or people in the store, things like that. And it's pretty entertaining, and I just use it as a podcast when I'm bored doing this kind of stuff. But anyway, he talked about armies that people wouldn't play against, and he was talking about how the people would just either not play the person or just pick their models up and and not want to play if somebody put a Wraith Knight down or something like that. I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to try to win, but I mean, what happened? And I'm not trying to offend anybody here. What happened to the epic games? Okay, that people used to play where it was against all odds. What happened to the fiction where it was against all odds? How many stories, how many things have you have you read, audiobooks, whatever, where the odds were stacked against? I mean, hell, look at the battle for McCraig with the Tyranids. I mean, look at the first company Terminators wiped out to the last man. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you want to read about. It's the stuff that get your blood going about the hobby and your imagination and what's going on. And it's not there right now. I don't know. It's weird. It's and I know you can say, oh man, you're just some old timer, boomer, blah blah blah, whatever. Again, I'm not hating on anybody that's in the competitive scene, but if you're the kind of person that let's just say I mean, how do you penalize somebody not wanting to play with them when they turn around and spent the money to buy a Warhound or a Warlord Titan or something like that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, so what if you lose? See what'll happen. Who knows? You might win. Hell, the rules as they are now, it's not like it used to be in 3rd edition where we could sit there and say, hey, you know, you can't hurt me. You know, your weapon's not strong enough. Now any weapon can hurt anything. And we always thought about that. It's like, wait a minute, man. You know, I mean, you got bolter rounds. I mean, literal rockets, if you will. You know, that explode and things like that. And they couldn't hit something and at least cause a mobility kill or something. You know, and now those things are in the game. I agree that the game is getting is still getting more and more bloated on rules. It's part of the reason that I have not spent a lot of time to get to know the 9th edition. But there's a lot of good aspects to it as well. Anyway, kind of beating a dead horse here. So, next topic. And I will apologize if we hear a baby crying in the background. It's 11:37 here Eastern Standard Time in the United States. And it's between now and midnight. She may wake up crying and I will have to get her a bottle. And I'll either end the stream or I will pause or I will be back. But anyway, what was I going to say? What was I going to say? Oh, you have no. Oh yeah. So the re-release of the 3rd edition model set. Okay, what's my take on that? Well, it's interesting, especially considering I have a ton of those 3rd edition Dark Eldar laying around. That's for sure. I would tell you that I see nothing wrong with it. I just don't see it really panning out very well for Games Workshop. I just don't. I don't see, with as beautiful as the new Dark Eldar models are, I don't see it, as being a viable option. I mean, I get it, nostalgia, things like that. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I did a video on this where they were talking about you couldn't use models that weren't in print anymore. Or you couldn't, for certain things, tournaments or whatever. And I'm just like, man, yes, they're technically still in print. I get that, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's freaking odd. And again, but I don't think that the price is right. I can tell you that right now. I think the price is super wrong. I think that it could be a lot cheaper, especially if you're trying to sell older models like that. I mean, why wouldn't you make it cheaper? Sorry, I'm trying to look at something. I really don't want to mess this door thing up. I'm not even seeing the back door going on there right now. Okay, it goes on after the whole thing. And I've got to make it where it can open. I have a feeling that I'm going to have to make this just push on, and that's the only way. That kind of stinks, but whatever. I'll get over it. I'll tell you what, man, these new Chimeras and Lehman Russes, they are super easy to put together compared to the old school ones, especially when you're putting tracks on. Super easy. I say that and then I'm going to turn around and mess the whole thing up right in front of you guys. I did mess up something on these, and it's my clippers is what happened. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but right here, if you can see that white on the tip there, when I was clipping, clipped in, and I didn't notice that, and I did it for almost every one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Nope, I did it for all of them. Jesus. And that's the support for the door itself. So I got a glue or something here. Yes, sir, I am. And hopefully you guys can hear me okay, because I have the mic sitting over here, and this is my first stream to check it out. And yeah, I violated my own rules. I didn't test everything or whatever. So I'm taking a look here, and thankfully it says my microphone is working, so at least we got that part going for us. Let's see here. That's simple, man. A lot easier to put together than the old school ones. And that's something else I did too, is if you guys remember, we put together a Bane blade and 3 of the new Lehman Russes along with the Devil Dog, Hellhound, what am I trying to say here? Why can't I speak? Hellhound Devil Dog variants, and I gave them all to my Steel Legion army. Well, what I've done since then is I have moved all of them over to the Krieg army, and I got all of those other extra tanks. What I had 7 or 8 extra tanks, Lehman Russ tanks, and all of them are now with the Steel Legion, and I moved the 3 Lehman Russes and the 3 Hellhounds or Devil Dogs over to the Krieg. So the only thing I'm looking at when it comes to my Krieg army that I don't want to say bothers me, but something that just doesn't quite add up is I have 100 troops, not including engineers and stuff. So 10 squads, you know, regular dudes. And again, not including command squads, things like that, but or the riders. But I have a ton of armor, and I know that they would have that, but I don't know that they would have it to the scale of, like, you know, when you're talking about how many, you know, the Krieg are all about, you know, fueling bodies, you know. So that's what I was thinking about. Well, guys, just because I'm expecting my little girl to wake up at any moment, I'm going to continue to work on this stuff. I am looking forward to seeing if any of you guys, you know, are surprised to see me on here. And I'm looking forward to continuing doing this, but I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and look forward to doing this again soon. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.